it's over. The Netherlands are out of the World Cup, but most of you guys will not even care about that. I'm pretty sure that the majority of you guys aren't necessarily happy with the fact that England is also out of the tournament. But hey, it already happened. What can you do? It's time to look ahead now. I thought, how can we combine the World Cup with club football as well? Because whether you guys like it or not, it's coming back as well next month. So in this video, I will be looking at 10 transfers that will most likely happen in January 2023. And most of these guys that are in this list have already played at the World Cup. Some of these guys actually earned their next move at the World Cup. And many big clubs are involved from the Premier League, from Ligue 1, La Liga, Serie A as well. So let's get right into the list. Let's start off with Cody Gakpo, a guy that was already discussed way before the World Cup. Last summer he was going to make a move to either Manchester United. Leeds were also linked to him. But Gakpo stayed at PSV, made a big impression the first half of the season. He's well over 20 goal contributions in all competitions for PSV. But the cherry on the cake was the World Cup, where Cody Gakpo was the breakout star for the Netherlands. He scored 3 goals in 5 games as his team went out in the quarterfinals against Argentina. He scored all of his goals in the group stages. Very important goals, beautiful goals as well. And the fact that he showed it on the big stage now probably earned him a transfer to the Premier League. And the club that's been linked with him the most is Manchester United. They already inquired about Cody Gakpo. His transfer value is already at 45 million right now, but I'm pretty sure that that will be higher after his performances at the World Cup. So you can expect Cody Gakpo to wear a Manchester United shirt already come January. The next player is somebody that's still in the tournament for the surprise package Morocco. You probably heard about this guy by now, because Soufiane Amrabat is having a great tournament. But this doesn't just come out of the blue, because he has been insane for Hellas Verona, for Fiorentina for quite a while in Italy now. But after the tournament that he's having, there's no way that he will stay at Fiorentina. Funnily enough, Soufiane Amrabat actually lived like 10 minutes away from where I lived in the Netherlands. So this guy has been on my radar for quite a while. And for a long time this wasn't very positive, because he also played for Feyenoord in the Netherlands, where he wasn't really a success. But Amrabat became exponentially better these last couple of years. And right now both Arsenal and Spurs are actually linked with Amrabat. Spurs were actually trying to sign him last summer as well. So the player has been on their radar for quite a long time. But I personally think that Arsenal would be the better move for him. I think that Arsenal need his type of play, this warrior in midfield. They have the money so they can afford him. And after the World Cup that this guy just had, there's no way that he will not make a move in January. So believe me, I think he will go to Arsenal. And if for some reason that transfer doesn't happen, he will probably go to Spurs. But Arsenal is my pick for this one. The next player is one of my favorite players of the entire tournament. And for me it's pretty special that it's actually a defender. Normally I like attackers, attacking midfielders. But Gvardiol made such a big impression on me that I really think that he will leave in January. Chelsea is already linked with the player. They could definitely do with Gvardiol, but literally every club could do with a player like Gvardiol. He's an unbelievable defender. He's showing it at such a high level as well. Comfortable on the ball too. This guy will be a major addition to every single club in the world. But I personally don't think that he will go to Chelsea. I think he will actually go to PSG. PSG are now trying to sign young talents that don't really have the star attitude. The players that they signed for a long time, players like Neymar, Mbappe as well. They're trying to look for younger players. Gvardiol is only 20, has a lot of potential, so he perfectly fits that profile. And this guy has options, so why would he settle for Chelsea, who aren't doing that well in the Premier League right now? Real Madrid is also linked with him, but I don't really see that happening. They already have Rudiger, Alaba, Eder Militao as well. I really think that if you give this guy some time, that he will be better than all of those 3 defenders. So it would be a smart move for Real Madrid, but I don't think he will go somewhere where he isn't guaranteed playtime. So Gvardiol to PSG in January, I can definitely see that happening. So I don't think that Gvardiol will go to Chelsea, but I do think that another player will actually sign for Chelsea. You probably already guessed that we were going to talk about him in this video, because Cristiano Ronaldo is going to sign for a club. There are strong links that he's going to sign for Saudi Arabia outfit Al Nassr, but I really don't see that happening. Yeah, okay, it's an insane contract, but Cristiano Ronaldo playing in a country for a team where literally 3 spectators will be in the crowd, where all of the players around him will literally be 10 tiers below Ronaldo's ability, even at the age of 37. I really don't see that happening. It's probably a plan C or a plan D if no European club is coming for him. Come on, surely a big European club will still sign Ronaldo at the age of 37. He is not finished. Chelsea were interested in the guy. And with Todd Boehly at the club, I really think that they will give Ronaldo one last chance in the Premier League. They don't have to pay a single penny for him to actually sign him. Sure, they will give him a signing bonus and a big wage, but there's money enough at Chelsea. I really see this happening. And of course, they have a little bit of a striker crisis now. They do have Aubameyang, but Cristiano Ronaldo also in that team could be a very good quick fix. The next player plays for my beloved Ajax. Mohammed Kudus just had a great tournament. Unfortunately, he got Ghana were already knocked out in the group stages, but Kudus scored twice, made a big impression after scoring almost 10 goals for Ajax in the first half of the season. And many clubs were already interested in signing Mohammed Kudus. Everton were already very interested in him last summer, they almost signed him, but Ajax wanted to keep the player, which turned out to be a good decision because he was very important for us. But after the great last couple of months that he actually had, many big clubs are interested in him. Everton are still in the market for him, but I have a feeling that a club very close to Everton is actually going to sign him because Liverpool are also interested. Kudus played against Liverpool with Ajax this season already in the Champions League, where he showed how great he was. He scored a great goal at Anfield, and you know how it works in football. Chelsea signed Hakim Ziyech after a masterclass at Stamford Bridge, so I have a feeling that the same thing is going to happen. Liverpool are probably going to sign Mohammed Kudus after he impressed in the game at Anfield. Speaking about Hakim Ziyech, he's the next player that we're going to talk about. He's also part of the surprise package at the World Cup. Morocco, who made it all the way to the semi-finals. Potentially they could go even further, but most likely not. Since they're playing France, I think that will be a hurdle too far for them. But Hakim Ziyech so far didn't really have the best of tournaments. He has been pretty good, not outstanding, but really decent. And we all know that Hakim Ziyech is way too good to be on the bench for Chelsea. Ajax wanted to buy him last summer. Unfortunately, the deal didn't go ahead, but Ziyech doesn't want to sit on the bench, so he's definitely going to leave in January if his situation doesn't change at Chelsea. I would love to say that he will come back to Ajax. I really hope that they're going to make the deal happen, but I have my reasons to believe that unfortunately it's not going to materialize. AC Milan were also linked with him last summer, and I do think that they're actually going to sign him up this winter. Again, rumors have surfaced that AC Milan is actually trying to sign Ziyech again. It's most likely going to be a loan for half a year and then a purchase option or a purchase obligation. The deal still has to be worked out, but the rumors are there again. I really think that unfortunately Ziyech is not going to Ajax but to AC Milan. But anyways, if he's not going to join us, AC Milan will be a great club for him. I do actually think that Ziyech will shine again in Serie A, just like those couple of seasons at Ajax where he played Champions League, where he was arguably one of the best players in the team. So I definitely hope for him that he will move out of Stamford Bridge and can play regular football again. Next up is a player that's probably going to join Tottenham Hotspur because Steven de Vrij isn't really happy at Inter. He just had a long-term injury, so he didn't play for the Netherlands at the World Cup, but the situation at Inter isn't really that great. So a move for him to Tottenham could actually be a very good one. He would get to play in the Premier League. He never played there in his whole career, and for Tottenham this would literally be insane. Because sure, if you talk about the best defenders in the world, maybe Steven de Vrij is not the first player you talk about, but many people have already forgotten that just a few years ago, Steven de Vrij was actually voted as the best defender in Serie A. So for Tottenham this would be a great signing. For Steven de Vrij I think it would be also good to leave Italy after being there for some years. So yeah, I definitely see this happening in January. Next up, we're going to talk about another Dutchman, a player that really impressed in the World Cup. Unfortunately not in the group stages, but after that, Denzel Dumfries was a machine. This guy is like the equivalent of Soufiane Amrabat at right back, such a warrior as well. This guy brings so much energy, but Dumfries actually is capable of attacking as well. He showed that in the game against the USA, where he got 3 goal contributions in one game. Last summer Chelsea were also linked with him, but nothing materialized. But now another London club might actually be in the market for him because Arsenal are linked with Denzel Dumfries. I think that this would be a great move for Dumfries and both for Arsenal. This guy is literally a gem for any team. They do have Tomiyasu in that position, who's also a pretty decent player, but Dumfries I think is a tier above Tomiyasu still. Again, Chelsea might also be in the market for him again, but I really don't see that move happening. They already have Reece James. Sure, he's pretty injury prone, but James is still way better than Dumfries if you ask me. Which definitely isn't bad for Dumfries, but Reece James just is one of the best right backs in the world. So Dumfries to Arsenal I think would be a great transfer. Next up is one of the best defensive midfielders in the world. A few years ago arguably he was the best defensive midfielder in the world, but the last 2 seasons N'Golo Kante has barely played for Chelsea. His contract is running out and Chelsea are seemingly looking for other options. And we all know that FC Barcelona love to sign a player on a free. In order for that to happen, they will have to wait until next summer, because that's actually when his contract will run out. But I do have a feeling that this transfer might actually be completed in January already. Just come on now, FC Barcelona being able to sign a player of Kante's quality on a free is probably something that they want to act on quick. The rumors are there, Barcelona is interested in actually moving for Kante. And for the midfielder, this would be his last great move. A great adventure, a great challenge to move to Spain. And with Chelsea seemingly looking for another player as well, I think that this move could materialize pretty soon. The last player that we're going to talk about is a player that disappointed at the World Cup. Memphis Depay is one of the best players, definitely the best attacker for the Dutch national team. But prior to the tournament he barely played because he had a long-term injury. So he actually played his first game in a while at the World Cup. Naturally he wasn't fully fit, and that was visible because we didn't see the best version of Memphis Depay. But the year 2022 2022 in a whole definitely hasn't been the best for Memphis. Last January, Aubameyang arrived at Barcelona, became the first striker, so Memphis barely played. Then at the start of this season, Memphis was injured, so he also didn't really play a lot. And also a certain player named Robert Lewandowski arrived at the Camp Nou. So the prospects for Memphis at Barcelona really aren't that great. So you should probably look for a move elsewhere in January, and AS Roma are linked with him. The Italian club already has Gini Wijnaldum on their books, and the connection is definitely there because Memphis already played with Wijnaldum a long time at PSV, and the two are also regulars for the Dutch national team. So I think that link up could be very interesting with Dybala at the club as well. I definitely think that the Depay to Serie A and AS Roma could work. So guys, that's the video done. Let me know in the comments down below which one of these transfers do you actually see happening in January. If you also heard some other transfer rumors, also let me know in the comments. And as always, be sure to like the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel, click my videos to end screen right now, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.